Okay guys, welcome back to the video. Welcome back to Drawing for Mental Health. I've got some bad news to share. Off rip, this guy over here, I'm gonna point at him. I'm gonna point at him on my screen. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. He messed up the recordings for both of the last videos. We've recorded 2 videos since then. If you guys didn't see that there was no new episode last Friday, it's because sadly I tried editing one of them and the audio was just not there. So now we're back and we are recording another video, and it's going to be the same videos that we already recorded before, but I wanted to share that off rip because you'll see on the screen that I have this like halfway finished storm drawing. I started drawing it in the last episode, but obviously you won't get to see that. So now you're going to see me coloring the storm drawing that I have now. But anyway, outside of that, if you guys don't know, my name is Colin. I also go by Clanum. I am a graphic artist. You can find my stuff in the links on our channel and also in the description. This is my guy over here.
Yeah, what up? It's your boy Benny, aka BFollow, aka Follow. Yeah, I don't really have a I guess my art name would be BFollow. I think that's it. My thing's BFollow Production. You know, that's how it is. But you can also find my stuff down there somewhere. But yeah. Do you want me to just jump in?
Yeah, go ahead. Do the thing that you did in the last episode that we didn't, have recorded.
Yeah, you don't need to do that. You don't gotta be like that.
Hey,
You don't gotta be like, look, it hurts me too, okay? It hurts me too, okay? You don't gotta deal with that.
Hey.
I'm probably not gonna I'm not gonna start it off how I did, but let's just go straight to it.
Okay.
So today we'll be talking about vulnerability. Me personally, I'm just gonna hit more in the sense like what it's like for a guy to be vulnerable, and like some of the reason why it's harder for us, us guy to be vulnerable, and just go from there. Yeah. So you want to go? You want to go first, or did you want to go first? Because I don't care.
Last time you were the one who introduced the topic and then started, right?
Did I? Let's put the glasses on because we feel better. Let's just flip the camera a little bit right there. Nah. But I don't know. Lately, I've been thinking it's really funny how the way we're raised, men are supposed to be we're supposed to be tough, and I use an analogy because I'm like, us guys were told that we're supposed to be tough like rocks, because rocks are really tough. It's harder for them to break. But the thing a lot of people don't seem to really realize is, no matter how strong a rock really is, if you keep hammering at it over and over and over again, sooner or later it's going to break. And once it breaks into pieces, it's going to be so hard to pick up those pieces and piece them back together. And I feel like that's kind of where us guys are at, because we're really afraid. How do I put this? I don't really think we're afraid of the idea of vulnerability in itself, but more so of what comes after that. What comes after we open ourselves to you. What comes after we tell you our deepest secret. I feel like a lot of guys. Unfortunately, I haven't experienced this, but a lot of guys are afraid that if they talk about their feelings, or if they tell you how they're truly feeling, you're going to end up, women are all going to end up using that against them in order to win an argument. And I witnessed some of my friends going through stuff like this. And it's really, I feel like it's really crazy because once we open up to you and you decide to, use that to win an argument, it's really hard for us to ever trust you again with our vulnerability. We start keeping that inside, and now you're wondering, like, why doesn't he open up to me anymore? Why doesn't he tell me what's going on? And you start kind of like getting mad over it and realizing that, well, my man is just he just doesn't talk about his feelings. He just doesn't trust me with his feelings, though. He just keeps it all butter inside. But you're not realizing is the one time he did open up to you, you decided to use that against him just so you can win an argument and things like that. And and I don't know about y'all, but no, I don't like things that I tell you, especially things that is really private and things that is really like deep and secretive that I keep inside. I tell you, and then you come back and you use it against me just to win a petty argument. And the thing about argument is nobody really ever wins an argument because it's a lose-lose situation. The winner might feel good for a while, but at the end of the day, it's like you're winning at a cost of losing, that person. So now every time you ask your man, "Hey, how you doing? How was work? Like how are you feeling? Like I heard this and this happened. Like what's going on in your mind? Oh no, I'm good. I'm okay. That's fine. I'll figure it out." And you keep getting those, surface level response, and in your head you're thinking, well, clearly something's not right. And it's not that I don't want to talk to you about my feeling. It's not that I don't want to talk to you about the fact that I'm going through this really emotional thing, but it's the fact that I can no longer trust you with my vulnerability. I can no longer trust that you're going to listen, or you're going to like actually keep it to yourself and not go around telling people, or worse, throw it back in my face the next time we get into an argument, or the next time you feel some type of way and now you want to hurt me. So the only way you know how to hurt me is by throwing this thing back at me, and it sucks. I really, because like I said, I haven't really personally went through this stuff, but just imagining all the stuff that I told my previous partner, and just like imagine them throwing it back at me. Like, I don't know, I would have like, I'm already not an emotional kind of guy, so like I would have really locked that out and just looked at him like, okay, that's how you want to play? That's fine. Like, it's okay for me to be there for you emotionally. It's okay for me to support you. It's okay for me to listen to your problems, give you advice, or just sit there and just be an ear for you, and not judge you for what you're going through, and never use that against you. But it's like once I drop my guard and I tell you, this and this is happening, you act like you listen. And then out of the blue, you throw that back in my face and expect me to be okay with that. And I feel like there's really a big double standard to a lot of things, and that's how friendships gets ruined really fast. Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I have for that. I mean, there's more, but I'm gonna let you go through.
You see,
say what you gotta say.
For me personally, I feel like you kind of just jumped into that. I don't have any like warning or like nothing about like a previous description, so I'm just gonna tell the folks like where you started off in the last video, and then lead up to it. So basically, right?
Okay.
In normal relationships, heterosexual relationships, it's been a thing where there are women who like kind of use men's vulnerability against them, right? And the reason why it's come to that is because of the fact that like in normal society, in the society that we currently live in, it's kind of taboo for a man to be vulnerable, and it's kind of taboo for that to be, or for that stuff to happen, because like we've always had this standard that we're supposed to live up to, where it's like you have to be solid like a rock. You can't really like show your emotions. You have to have support for the family that you're trying to start, right? And like that's all good and well, but because of this standard that has constantly been there, we now have a societal norm of when a man actually does show vulnerability, it's backfiring against them. So the question is, at least from what I remember, is how do you feel about this society norm of vulnerability, and how does it affect you? Where is like your relation in terms of that? Isn't that where the question kind of was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, for me personally, I don't really experience that as well. I haven't really had a relationship where um, my vulnerability, like me sharing my emotional output and like, you know, the things that I'm talking about mentally, it's never really been in a case where it's backfired against me. And I'm blessed to like have that within my relationship where like I can talk to my girlfriend and be um, completely open without having any sort of like negative impact, and like it turning into a fight where like you can win an argument, which like Benny said, there's no winning in an argument. It's kind of like we're here together, like this is our relationship. If you're out to win, then there's no way that this is like, you know, a good relationship. Like
Yeah.
you're trying to fight me. Like what for? I thought we were in this together. But I think because of that and not having that type of relationship really be my past, I'm grateful, and I realize now that when those types of things happen, it's more of like a society standpoint. It's kind of like um, we've gone to a road where it turns out to be like a firing against sexes, you know? Like we're fighting against other genders. And I remember last time when we were talking about this, I referred to it as like a fishbowl effect, right? We
Yeah.
all live in our own sort of like circles, right? But because of social media and like because of the age that we're in, it's easier for you to get access to like what the other fishbowl is talking about, right? So let's say, for instance, you have a history, like you, the audience member, have a history of just being with guys who treat women like crap. Like they just are jerks, overall jerks. And when you have that history, you now form your own opinion because of the history that you have. Now, think about other people who see this same history on their social media, but they've never really experienced that history. Like they're just seeing it, right? They now go out into their own fishbowl, right? Because we can like see each other. Now we've got this ability to just like look into the other fishbowl, but we start swimming in our own, and we're like, yeah, men are jerks. Meanwhile, the men in your area are like kind, like they're trying to help you, right? So now you're treating these men as jerks when those men are actually kind, and it's become this battle now of like, I'm out to get you because I know that you've hurt people when they haven't actually hurt anybody. You know, like we're treating people like they've done something that they've never done before. And I think that's what it really turns into.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've been blessed enough to like not experience it, but because I'm able to just see the outside or the inside from the outside, I have more of like a solid view on it, where it's kind of like if you really wanted to like steer clear from certain things, like certain people, I'm sure you can. Like it's not uh um a thing where you gotta have to be like, oh, I'm with this person, I'm stuck with this person. You're not stuck. You can leave. You could just do whatever you want. Um and we have so many different people in this world that like nobody's going to be the exact same. Like you'll never find somebody who's the same as the last person that you're with. And I think understanding that kind of like allows you to have that vulnerability to, you know, be able to just be yourself. Because at the end of the day, I think vulnerability is exactly that, just having the ability to be yourself.
Yeah. No, you're honestly right. So I feel like I don't know when this became a thing, but like you mentioned, like I honestly feel like it's no longer. I don't know. It's no longer us versus the problem. It's becoming to the point where it's man versus women, and I don't know who thought that was okay. I don't know who thought that was like a good way to survive a relationship or even coexist, but it's not. Cause like it's not me versus you. It's not her versus It's not her versus him. Is at the end of the day, if we're in a relationship, it's a unity. Like just because we're not married, yeah, we're still like once we commit to be with one another for, whatever long that is, it's you and I, a team, versus the problem. Whatever happens, we'll deal with it together. It's not this whole. I feel like this whole kind of like war we built on, whereas whose pain is more valid than whose pain is more valid, whose pain is more, I guess, worse. If that makes sense. Because literally, like, I don't really be on Instagram like that unless to post my work. Like, literally on Instagram, so just walking around and talking to people. I hear people comment like, if a guy says, "Well, it's harder for a lot of guys to talk about their emotions nowadays," or it's harder for this, and then like there's a woman that would jump in and be like, "Well, we give birth," and I'm like, "What does that? Wait, hold on. What does that have to do with the person that they were talking about right now?" It's like we give birth, so it's harder for us to deal with this stuff, and it's like, okay, I understand. I understand the time. Like we're not even going to talk about birth because I'm like, I understand the certain pain that you guys like. Different gender was created to deal with different thing. Like there was a role every single one of us, were designed to play, and your body was created in order to sustain and deal with this type of pain, whereas my body was designed to deal with this type of pain. But nowhere in the Bible, or nowhere, not to make it religious, but like nowhere in the Bible, nowhere anywhere did God ever say a man cannot talk about his feelings. I gave you emotion. Like God gave us emotion in order for us to feel it and to experience it and to go through it. But now it's got to the point where society, corrupted it, or corrupted in the sense where now it's like a man's emotion is invalid. You don't have emotions. Like I mentioned, like you're supposed to be a rock, and if you live your life, that like that way, it's harder for you to even break down that wall, because like who's to say once you get into a relationship to where you actually have a mature woman, you have a partner who's actually emotionally intelligent and is actually like, hey, I actually do want to talk about your feelings. I'm not going to judge you. I'm going to be there for you and support you. And if I don't understand how to deal with it, we're going to figure it out together. Like once you have that type of partner who actually is able to break down that wall for you and won't judge you, it's harder for you as a man to to bring that down because it's like, well, like you say, like you say, Colin, it's like, well, my past experience taught me this. You know, I felt this way with somebody else, and I let down my guard, and they threw it back in my face, and now I feel like I can't do that anymore. You know, um, and it's really crazy because I guess you can take it back to just the surrounding that the environment that you were raised in. Like if you see your parents, if you ever see the man figure in your life talk about their emotion and stuff like that, and that's old school. Like old school, I feel old school man, they don't talk about emotions like that. Like they bottle it up and they deal with it however they deal with, and I feel like that's what creates emotionally unintelligent men for our generation, this generation we're in. And if we're going to change that for the next generation, we have to start, we have to start dealing with our problems. Because I can't, me as a man, I can't tell, my lady and be like, hey, I'm here for you. I'm going to protect you. I'm going to provide for you. I'm going to support you. I'm going to listen to, whatever you got going on. When I don't even know how to deal with my own problems. Like, who am I? Like, how am I supposed to help you with your problem when I can't deal with my own problem, myself? And I don't know. It's really like, it's really I don't know how to say it, but I'm trying to figure out like when we got to that point. Like, when did it become okay for like one gender to basically try to erase their emotion? Because you can't erase it. Now it's like it's okay for us. The only emotion we can feel is anger. That's the only emotion that's allowed for a man to feel is anger. And even anger, even once you get really aggressive, that is a bad thing. So it's like hey, we gotta figure this out. And I feel like also it's just, I don't know. Like, I honestly feel like it's also the fact that some women, because there's women out there who know how, because who knows how to talk to your man, how to get a man to open up without putting them down and stuff like that. Like my previous partner, like I was fortunate to have a partner who actually did that without pushing it. They actually let me come to them and talk about my emotion without them actually judging me for it, and they never use it against me. And for me, that made me feel really safe, and it made me, I really understood that just because yes, my job is to protect you, my job is to provide for you, but you also make me feel safe. It's just in a different way than I go about making you feel safe. And that pushed me to even dive into my own mental health. And now whoever I end up dating next, like I'll be able to even open up to them. But I feel like it only takes that one person to help you, and it only takes that one person to undo everything that you worked hard. You work so hard, to gain. Yeah, it was something else I wanted to talk about, but I'm gonna let you touch base on what you got to touch base on.
Let me what?
There's something else I want to talk about, but I'm gonna let you
I'm kidding.
say what you gotta say. I know you're kidding. Sick and tired of your nonsense. What's wrong with you? That's what I'm talking about. Always judging me.
I liked when you were talking about like men of just this generation, because like I started thinking of that quote from Across the Spider-Verse. I know you guys know it. Like, in fact, can I like, do you think we get copyrighted if I put the clip up?
Men of your generation ignore their mental health too long.
Like,
nah, I don't think so. Just just to be on the safe side, just probably put the source, your source in it. Like you were writing an essay in school, just put your little source on it. But I feel like you can't actually do that because I see people do that. Go for it.
Okay. Anyway, yeah.
Now you gotta go for it though. Now you gotta do it.
I think with men of this generation, we kind of have to like be pioneers in a way, because like
Yeah.
that's just how it went in previous generations. Like they were raised in a way where they didn't really show their emotions, and of course, I'm sure it's more than just like a social meaning like the one that me and Benny are talking about right now. I'm sure it's more than that. Like they went through
Yeah.
much more stuff than us. Like that was World War II.
Yeah.
Like let's be honest, and like, you know,
Yeah.
other things, but I digress. I think with that, you kind of have to like, I don't know, be comfortable in your own skin and understand that you as yourself is much more than like the views that are put on you, because I think with society being how it is, we tend to like think, okay, I'm viewed this way, I have to be, you know, X, Y, and Z. You don't have to be anything. Like I
Yeah.
think we live in a state, a world where you kind of just make life what you want it to be. And of course, some don't have the freedoms that, like, you know, I'm talking about, because apparently we can all be free. I'm pretty sure I said that before. But when you just put it into terms, or like take away the whole societal aspect, the whole like social views, everything, when you just break it down to what it is, you are free to be yourself. You don't have to like do X, Y, and Z. Of course, there are always going to be views upon you. Like, I think you shouldn't really take my words to be like, oh, those views, you don't have to like, you know, worry about those. Like, you'll still have views thrust upon you. Like, that's just the reality of the situation. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you need to live life for yourself. Like, if you're living life for somebody else, then you're kind of like taking away your own freedoms. And taking away your own freedoms comes down to like the fact that you're taking away your vulnerability too. Like, you can no longer be yourself if you're like trying to be something for somebody else. You got to worry about yourself first.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, you always got to worry about yourself first, because if you're not right, then how are you going to make sure everybody else is right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like, yeah, that's like on a different video. Like I do want to talk about like creating a safe place, and how a man can create a safe place for, you know, for the woman, for the, you know, the women to be able to be themselves, and also which in turn will help them being able to, I guess, like let down their guard, because it goes both ways, you know, like like she can't support you, and she can't listen to your vulnerability, and, you know, be able to handle it if you're not able to give her the space to talk about her vulnerability, you know, and for her to be a woman, for her to be, you know, in her soft girl era, you know. I want to talk about that, like, not the next episode, but like the episode we're going to talk, one of this episode. But I also feel like it kind of goes down to, I realize, I guess, like, it just kind of goes down to, like, you know, since birth, we, like, us men were taught how to treat a woman, but not what to expect from a woman. Whereas a woman was taught what to expect from a man, but never how to treat a man. And that's really, just that phrase alone, it tells you a lot of things about how, you know, the old generation grew up, and now it's just the knowledge they passed on us is crazy, and now we have to, like you say, like, we have to try to figure out a way to make what we learn from them and change it into our own way. and pass it on to the next generation, or else we're just going to keep creating a cycle full of generation emotionally wounded men and women, to the point where I feel like right now, I feel like marriage right now is coming to the point where then you're going to be extinct. Like actual marriage,
Extinct is
I feel
crazy.
like is going. I feel like no, it's just like I feel like it's not a lot of like you don't hear a lot of that going on. Like a lot of people like, yeah, man, we've been together for this long and we're still going strong. I feel like people give up so easy. Again, that's a whole different topic. But like, I honestly do feel like that way. Because a lot of women and a lot of like right now we're just talking about, I guess like I'm just targeting it to men. But like I said, the other video I want to talk about, like on the women's areas, side of things. But just so you guys would be like, hey, you just talking about men. But hey, we'll get to the women's side, next time. I promise. But I feel like a lot of women like they want a Superman, they want a Spider-Man, they want a Hulk, to say the least. But they can't. But like they don't want to take care of the Clark Kent. They don't want to take care of Peter Parker. They don't have to. They don't want to take care of Bruce Banner. It's like they just want the superhero, the macho man who's going to protect them and provide for them. But they're not understanding in all of those macho men, all of those superhero man providers, they still have a little kid inside them that needs to be nurtured. Just like just like women have little girls inside of them that needs to be nurtured in order for them to grow to become that provider. In order for the women to grow to become that supporter, that your partner. And I feel like once you get to the point where you can take care of them, and of course it's not all on one person. Like you calling me. I mean, we have to be able to, learn how to, take care of our Clark Kents, Like, we like, you can't leave that all up to one person. You have to be able to learn how to take care of that, that little boy inside you before a woman can even come in and continue to help you nurture that little boy in order for him to become who he's supposed to be. And it goes vice versa. And it just comes down to the fact that we were never really taught how to do that. We were just taught how to provide. They were just taught how to, what like all the qualities a man has to have in order for it to be considered a man. And I don't know. It's really interesting. I think about stuff like that a lot. And yeah, honestly, I feel like until we can get to that point where we can come together and actually be able to allow each other to lay down their guard and sit back and actually talk about what's going on with them without any sense of judgment, and make both parties feel safe, like we're going to be struggling as a generation. And I, for one, am not trying to create a generational, like at least in my family bloodline, I'm not trying to create a generation of men who can't talk about their emotions because they feel like they're weak. Because there's a difference between talking about your emotions and still being a man versus talking about your emotion all, over and over again and, not, and just passing that line where you're just basically at that point whining about it and not doing anything about it and relying on somebody else to, fix it for you. I feel like that's the difference between being a emotional, intelligent man versus just a boy. If that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But that's all I had.
That's all I had.
Yeah, so yeah. Just for y'all, just don't be afraid to, go to therapy. If you need to. Go to therapy, man. Talk talk it out. If you don't go to therapy, if you don't want to go to therapy, that's cool. Find a good community. Find a friend you trust that you can talk about your emotion, and actually just help each other out. Because as men, we have to be able to hold each other accountable. We have to be able to talk about our feelings and stuff to one another. Because we can't even talk to feelings to if I can't talk to Colin and be like, hey dude, I feel this way. Like, how do I expect to talk to my partner about it without feeling judged? So hey man, it's tough, it's hard, But we gotta break that stigma. We gotta break that stereotype. That stereotype. Am I saying it right?
Stereotype.
Thank you. I said it right the first time. Okay. Yeah, we gotta break that, because if we don't break it, then the next generation that's coming up, they're going to follow into our footstep, and it's probably gonna be worse. So let's change it, y'all. Yeah. Next video coming up, for the women's side. I got y'all.
Do you know?
I do. I had to do some research, but I got y'all, bro. I got y'all.
Do some research is crazy. What if we?
I'm not a woman, bro. Leave me.
Like,
I'm
imagine. Forbid we bring in another guest. Like, whoa, God forbid. Remember, guys. This is not just like a what's the word I'm looking for? This is not gender exclusive.
Yeah.
Like, we want to be inclusive of everybody. So when these like conversations happen, these topics that we're talking about happen, remember, at the end of the day, this is like a thing for just like people in general, humans. Like, you always need somebody who like you can depend on and be vulnerable with. Like, it's not just going to be about like men or women,
Exactly.
they, them, like, it's everybody. So when I said earlier, you want to be in a relationship that you can be yourself and be vulnerable with them, remember that goes out to like all the non-binary people as well, everybody who's out in the community, everybody. Like, you want somebody who you can be vulnerable with, friends included. Like, you want a friend that you can be vulnerable with, because at the end of the day, you want somebody who you can connect with. And
Exactly.
being able to connect and have a community, that's important. It's something that you need as a person, and that's why it's been such an issue for men, because like they haven't been able to just like have somebody they could connect with and just have a community, because it's like everybody's against them, and we want you to just feel included, just not feel like people are against you. Know that you're heard, know that you have a community, and that's what we're trying to build here as well. So in the comments, say, I don't know, I'm here for you. For the people who are watching this video, I'm here for you, we're here for you. Understand that you have a community with us and with the people who are subscribed as well, because at the end of the day, remember what Benny was talking about, we do want to bring people on, and that does not just include the people we have in our personal lives. We want to like be able to just talk with you guys, and it's important to have a community, have people that you can trust and connect with, and be vulnerable. So yeah,
I'm here for you. Yeah. And I know it's gonna be hard for for those of you introvert people like myself, but hey, you don't have to change your ways to fit into a community. Like me and Colin, like, we're different. Like, he's me. Don't let him fool you. He's an extrovert. I feel like between you and me though, you're an extrovert. You talk to people. Don't do that. You talk to people more than I do. You talk to people more than I do. Let's not do that. Let's matter of fact, it's just gonna make the video longer. You can keep shaking your head, but he talks to people more than I do. I don't talk to people, but I still found a community with him. I still talk to him when give him pieces of things that I'm going through that makes me feel comfortable enough without him pushing. So just find a community that does that. And if you can, hey, like you said, we're here. Yeah. See. Look, bro, I did it, bro, I did it.
Oh my
God. Yeah. See, even the fireworks say over here, bro, we got y'all. Let's go. Okay, that's about it. Subscribe.
Subscribe, like the video.
That's all. Comment.
Yeah, comment, share. Please bring
Put
more
that
people
notification.
in. Like we said, we want to build a community. So watching.
Yeah, bro.